High in the jagged mountains, where fog swallowed the sky and silence ruled the winds, stood a fortress no army had ever conquered. They called it the Silent Fortress. For generations, it had remained untouched not because it was hidden, but because those who attacked it never returned. Then came Zarvak. He was a warlord feared across lands, a man who had crushed kingdoms and burned cities without mercy. His army stretched beyond the horizons of thousands of soldiers marching under black banners. When he heard of the fortress, guarded by only 300 warriors, he laughed. But he marched anyway. Inside the fortress, the 300 stood ready. They were not kings, not nobles, just warriors bound by loyalty in a single oath. The fortress must never fall. Their leader, Commander Rael, stood at the gates as the distant thunder of the approaching army echoed through the mountains. His face showed no fear, only calm resolve. His men knew the truth. They would not survive this battle, but survival was never their purpose. At dawn, Zarvak's army arrived. The ground trembled beneath their feet, and the sky darkened with arrows as the first attack began. The gates of the fortress remained closed. The soldiers waited in silence. Then, just as the enemy reached the walls, the gates opened, not in surrender but in defiance. The 300 charged forward. They did not defend. They attacked. Like a storm breaking through still air, they struck with speed and precision. Each movement was flawless, each strike deadly. They fought not as individuals, but as one force unified, relentless. Zarvak watched in disbelief as his massive army began to fall back. Hundreds turned into thousands. Chaos spread through his ranks. But numbers have their power. Slowly, the tide shifted. One by one, the warriors of the fortress fell. Their body covered the ground, but their formation never broke. They fought until their last breath, until only one remained. Commander Rael stood alone, surrounded by enemies, his armor broken, his sword stained with blood. Zarvak approached him, stepping over the fallen. "You have lost," Zarvak said. Rael looked at the battlefield, then back at him. "No," he replied quietly. "You just don't understand yet." They fought. Steel clashed against steel in a final, brutal duel. Both men were wounded, both pushed beyond their limits. And then, in a single moment, it ended. Both struck at once. Both fell. Silence returned to the mountains. When the dust settled, Zarvak's army was no longer an army. It was broken, scattered, and leaderless. Fear had taken what strength could not. The silent fortress still stood, empty, unconquered, and in the years that followed, no one dared to march against it again, because some victories are not about living. They are about leaving behind a story that can never be defeated.